Alright, so this is lesson 1.2, integers and their opposites. So we're going to start with negative and positive numbers. Most of this is going to be a review. So negative numbers, of course, have a negative sign. That looks like this. And they are going to be to the left of 0 on the number line. So as you move to the left, it's going to feel a little odd because you're going to be starting at -1 and moving from right to left, and that's not normally what our brains are expecting to do. We're expecting to move from left to right. So we're going to start at -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, and -7. So actually -7 is smaller than -1 because as you move to the left, the numbers are going to get smaller. As you move to the right, we have positive numbers. So as you move to the right, your numbers are going to be getting greater or bigger. Okay, so positive numbers, you don't necessarily have to have that positive sign, but if you do, that's okay. So if we see a number without a sign, we assume that it's positive. All right, so 0 is going to be neither positive nor negative. And again, this is all review. We even talked about it last week. And always write in negative numbers with the negative sign. So again, if it is a negative number and you forget the negative sign, that's not okay. That's a different number on the number line. So integer, we're just going to define these again. We did this last week. An integer is a set of whole numbers and their opposites. And remember, anytime that you're watching these videos, you can always pause and catch up. I know I'm going a little fast, I just don't want the video to be too long. All right, opposites. Opposites, we talked about this last week. -2 and 2 are opposites. -8 and 8 are opposites. So an opposite is two numbers that are equal distance from 0, but on opposite sides. Okay, they're equal distance from 0, but on opposite sides of 0. So let's look here. They're going to give us -9. They want us to label the number line and then find the opposite. So we have -9, we have -8, -7, -6, -5, -4, and all the way to 0. And then we have our positive numbers. So if an opposite is two numbers that are equal distance from 0, since -9 is going to be 9 jumps to 0, we're going to go 9 jumps from 0 in the opposite direction. So -9 and 9 are opposites. All right, so that's a horizontal number line. This is a vertical number line. So we're going to go ahead, and as we're moving down, we're getting smaller and smaller numbers. So if we're finding the opposite of 3, since that's 3 jumps from 0, we're going to do 3 jumps from 0 this way as well. So on your homework, it talks about the distance between a given number and its opposite. So if I asked you, what is the distance between 3 and its opposite, you would say that between 3 and its opposite was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 units between +3 and -3. So I think that's number 20 through 23 on your homework that asks that type of question. So be careful what it's asking. So we're going to write the opposites of these. These are very simple. The opposite of -25, 25. Okay, they're both 25 jumps away from 0. The opposite of 79 is -79. Opposite of 1 is -1. The opposite of 17 is -17. The opposite of -39 is 39. The opposite of 22 is -22. The opposite of 3 is -3. The opposite of 13 is -13. So on the back, number 1 says circle the number line that shows point A representing the opposite of 38. So again, the opposite of 38 is -38. So we're looking at a number that has A represented at -38. So between -36 and -38 is -37. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for -38. This is positive 38, no. In between negative 37 and negative 39, yes, is negative 38. And then this one says, the answer choice says 83. So that's just a silly answer. So it's going to be C. Here, circle the number line that shows X and Y that represents opposite numbers. So we look at this X and Y, and this right here, if we go from 0, that's going to be 7 jumps to negative 7. Start back at 0, that's going to be 5 jumps. And those are not equal distance from 0. So negative 7 and 5 are not opposites. Okay, same thing here. Start at 0. That's going to be, X is going to be 6 jumps away to the left. And this is going to be 2 jumps to the right. Again, those are not equal distance from 0. Start here. In between negative 5 and negative 7 is negative 6. And this is 6. Always label if they're missing. That's 6 jumps away from 0 to X, and we have 6 jumps away from 0 to Y. So those are going to be equal distance. Here, there's a jump of 3 to X and a jump of 9 to Y, and those are not equal distance, so it's going to be C.